Bim, 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 bim. What up, what up, what up? It's the Academy Sports Show live from the Academy Sports Show studios. I'm your host, Joel Williams, aka known as Jay Will. What's up, everybody? Waiting on everybody to join us in the building. It's a Monday in the D. I'm rolling solo dolo tonight. All by myself. So I'm gonna need you to come on in, join me, man. Let's have a good time tonight. We got a lot to talk about, man. Dre is out there taking care of business, doing what he's supposed to be doing. You know, we as men are supposed to handle our business, take care of our families, work, provide, do all that stuff. That's what he's doing. But that doesn't stop the show. We still want to put together a great show for you tonight. So if you're joining us in the live feed, we appreciate you, man. Make sure you shout it out. Let me know you're there. That way I can shout you out. And I can know that I'm not by myself. I know you're in here watching. So make sure you say something to me so I know you're present. Also, if you're joining us on YouTube, make sure you hit that bell. Subscribe to the show. That way you know when we go live. We go live usually every Monday right around now. So it's 7 o'clock and we're in the building. Like I said, normally it's two of us tonight, but I'm rolling solo. But we still got a great show ahead for you tonight. If you're watching on Facebook, make sure you share. Make sure you share the feed. Also, still, again, let me know you're there. And as always, you can follow us on our modes on Instagram. You can also follow us on Facebook at The Academy Sports Show. And always know what's going on, what we're posting, what we talk about. Kobe's in the building. What's good, bro? I appreciate you jumping in tonight. Hey, listen, as always, anybody is welcome to join the show tonight. You know, I got a spot open, I guess you could say. It's not open permanently, just a temporary spot open tonight. If you got anything you want to say, you got anything you want to get off your chest, tonight is a night you could do that. We got a hard hour tonight. I got a hard stop at 8 o'clock. So we definitely going to hit these two big topics, and then we're going to get this show on the road and see you again next week when other things are going on in the sports world. So again, if you're in the building, shout it out. Let me know you're here. Big show ahead tonight. Listen, we got two things to talk about. I'm going to keep tonight real simple. Two things to talk about. One, a lot of A-Rod talk going on. A lot of Aaron Rodgers discussions. A lot of trade rumors. Dre hit me up today. I think he was low-key trying to take a little shot, you know, trying to point out that, my Browns were big on Baker Mayfield. But there's a lot of trade rumors going around. And the Browns, relevancy. Cleveland! We're relevant. And when you're relevant, there's a lot to talk about with your team. So, seems like the front office came out and said something today. Browns, we're good with Baker here. Hold your horses, everybody. Before you go judging, all right, I'll give you my 2 cents on that and give you why I think that was a good move. Although the trade that Dre sent me for what could have happened, I would have pulled the trigger in a heartbeat. But we'll talk about that. Plus, there's some other teams in the news. Hope my man Perry get on tonight because his team, the Broncos, are in the news. Rumor is traction's gaining. Broncos might be in the mix for Aaron Rodgers. So we'll talk about that. Plus, NBA play-in tournament. Ladies and gentlemen, it's May the 10th. The tournament starts here in a few days. Only about 3 or 4 games left for every team. How do you feel right now? Couple questions for you. Are you excited for the tournament? We talked about this a couple of weeks ago. How do you feel about the tournament actually happening? Nice wrinkle, a little too much for the NBA. But also, I have to ask you, if you're a Lakers fan, how do you feel right now? You're in the play-in. You're the 7th seed in the West. Are you the favorite still? Are you excited? Kobe says, I'm excited to see the Lakers. Are you excited to see them in the play-in tournament? Are you excited to see them possibly make a run for a championship? Should they feel threatened right now? Are there any other teams that should be threatened right now that are in the play-in? And those that are not in the play-in, that are comfortably into the playoffs, are the favorites still the favorites? The last ESPN Power Rankings came out today, and we're going to talk about those a little bit. I feel like there's a surprise at number 1. And the reason I'm saying surprise is because even though they've been talked about as one of the best teams in the league all year, it's still May. It's still about to be playoff time. And I'm pretty much what's worth tonight on the Academy Sports Show. All right, so let's get it. Like I said, we got a hard stop at 8. Appreciate everybody joining us as always. If you're in the live feed, shout out. Let me know you're there. I saw my mom is here, so hey, mama. So all of those coming in, we can see you. Just make sure you say hello. Click the like. Hit the bell on the subscribe side of the YouTube. Hit the share on the Facebook side. Make sure you like on the Facebook side. Wherever you want to see us, we're on all these modes. You can check us out every Monday. We're going to see why we get what it's like to get into it tonight. So, let's see. Oh, Kobe. Kobe's already digging in. Kobe, I'm going to make you pump the brakes a little bit. Yeah, he did feel some type of way. LeBron's quote, if you haven't read, he said, whoever thought of this idea needs to be fired. Maybe he feels that way because they're a 7 seed. Maybe he doesn't. But we'll get to that in a moment. But first, let's talk about this right here. Let's talk about this. Trade rumors. If you've been with us for the last couple of weeks, you were here for our live show. A-Rod, the one we like to call on the show, that bad man. Dre doesn't like to call him that. I do. I'm an A-Rod fan. He's a Lions fan. The two don't mix. A-Rod is dug in, according to Bleacher Report. A-Rod is dug in. Broncos are monitoring the Packers situation. According to Bleacher Report, according to ESPN's Jeremy Fowler, Rodgers is dug in on his trade request, and a move to Denver has become a source of intrigue. The Packers are still actively looking for solutions here. They're trying to keep an open line of communication with A-Rod and his agents, David Dunn, so no traction in the short term. But many people around the league believe Aaron Rodgers is indeed dug in, and there's a belief by some that he wants to be out west. And the quote goes on to talk about how Denver currently has Drew Lock and Teddy Bridgewater. They're coming off the draft, and they're looking to move forward. Come on, guys. You can tell me that all day, but come on. This guy right here. First of all, I don't understand what happened in the draft for the Broncos anyway, because they were sitting there with the ability to upgrade their quarterback room, and they didn't. They were sitting there. They had the pick, and they said, we're good with Drew Lock, and they went corner. Okay. So Kobe says Aaron is gone. Come on, people, tell me how you feel about this. Is it true? Do you think is the possibility of Aaron Rodgers being in a Green Bay uniform 0 to none is done? He's out. That's what I'm asking. Kobe says he's done. Gone. What about you, Leonardo? Is it true? Is he done? Is there a way to work this out? Is there a way for A-Rod to be back in uniform in Green Bay? Or have we seen the last? Like, would he sit out a whole season and not play anywhere? Can he even do that? I don't even know. Leonardo says he's gone. So there's no A-Rod in the NFC North Division this coming season. Okay. I'm still, as a fan, holding out hope that he plays one more season in Green Bay. I want to see that duo of him and Jones, and I want to see what they do one more. Give it one more. I think they're still the best contender to the NFC champs in Tampa. So here's what I got this morning. Let me read the quote. NFL fans react to Brown's decision on Aaron Rodgers off of thespun.com. Now, first of all, when I read that, I was like, who is thespun.com? I tend to not go with websites that I don't hear a lot about. Maybe that's my fault. But some people like to put stuff up just to get clicks. All right. So Dre texts me and says, y'all love Baker like that? And his emojis were very sarcastic. I'll put it to you like that. So apparently, according to Mary Kay Cabot in Plain Dealer, the Browns came out and said, hey, listen, we're good on A-Rod. You know, I'm paraphrasing here. We're sticking with Baker. He's our guy. So I said it's not alarming. Then I said, well, Dre, what's the trade? What's the rumored trade that's out there because we have no official reporting that anything has been offered. There's not been any discussion. But what's the rumored trade that could be offered up from a Cleveland Green Bay standpoint? This is what I got from Dre. Baker, Njoku, the tight end, and 2 first-rounders for Aaron Rodgers. I'll repeat. Baker Mayfield, David Njoku, and 2 first-rounders for Aaron Rodgers. That was the rumored trade. There is no official reporting on this, that this has even been discussed. And I believe because this happened, that's why Cleveland came out and said that. I would take that trade in a heartbeat. I'm just want to point that out. However, I don't think that that's enough for Green Bay to be asked. I don't think Green Bay will go that low. That's not enough to me. So I ask you, all right, you play GM of your team. Whoever your team is, don't matter. You play GM of your team. What is the package? What is fair compensation? What does Green Bay need to ask for to get you to pull the trigger? Listen, Cole, I'd be all over that trade as well. Okay? I'd be all over that trade as well. However, I don't think that was a real trade. That's not enough. 2 first-rounders, David Njoku and Baker? Why? You don't even want Baker. You got Jordan Love. So, you really? Is that the competition? You're going to try to start Baker Mayfield and Jordan Love? I would be all over that as well. All right? Kobe says, I'm holding out that he comes to the Lions. Dre would be for that. Yep, you get a bell for that one. If you know anything about this bell, it is – nobody's ever seen the bell. You always hear it. That's our bell. It is used in multiple ways. It is used to sometimes point out how we agree with you and sometimes point out how we think what you're saying is crazy. That was what you're saying is crazy. He's not coming to the Lions. Leonardo says, when you have a relationship that you feel like the other person did something to you that you can't come back from, it's over. Hey, I'm there. I see it. I'm holding out hope that he's one more season there. But the whole Jordan Love draft pick, on top of the fact that you never draft this guy top dogs to give him help, I understand why he's upset, and I'm going to follow him wherever he goes. So, to say this, Cleveland did the right thing. Cleveland did the right thing. Here's why. With all the things you're doing right now, it's not the smart move to start making trades like this. I think long-term, Cleveland's in the right position. I get it. It's Aaron Rodgers, right? He's 36, 37. He's probably going to play another 4 years. If you go win now window and that's the trade on the table, I'm calling stupidity, make the deal. But I don't think that's all you have to give up to get Aaron Rodgers. If it is, somebody is – no wonder he don't want to play in Green Bay because that ain't smart. Listen, if AB in Cleveland, general manager, was able to pull off that deal, he's put him in the Hall of Fame. I don't care what happens if Aaron Rodgers would come to Cleveland. Put him in the Hall of Fame. But I just don't see the Browns making that deal because you have to give up a lot of capital to get Aaron Rodgers. And right now, based on what the Browns are doing in building, not the right move. So let's move past that. Unless you want to chastise me for it, I'm willing to discuss. But you're the GM of your team. What is the offer? Do you have anything to offer? And if your team doesn't have anything to offer, you don't want to put anything out there, then you tell me, forget it being your team, what is the proper offer? What does Green Bay get for a trade of Aaron Rodgers' proportion? Arguably one of the greatest to ever do it at this position. What's the deal? I want to know. What would you do? And if Perry is here, I shot him a text because the Broncos are his team. Is this realistic? Perry, are you excited to hear about this? Does it get you going, or are you going to wait and see? I want to hear what you got to say. If you're in the live feed, again, thanks for joining us tonight. I'm rolling solo dolo. It's the Academy Sports Show live, as always, every Monday night. If you haven't already done so, make sure you hit the bell on our YouTube page. Go to Academy Sports Show, or you can look us up on IG, or you can look us up on Facebook. Anyway, you can find us. You hit the alerts so that way you know what would be happening when it's happening with the show. Kobe says, I love to see him in New Orleans. They're the closest. They wouldn't have to give up as much. They're the closest to you being in Texas. You can get to that game pretty quickly. However, that last part of your statement, they wouldn't have to give up as much. Are you sure about that? To me, if I'm Green Bay, you got to back the truck up. Listen, if I'm Green Bay, there's much to give up. Please, I want something. I want a lot, bro. I want a couple of number ones for sure. I want a stud off your team for sure. Like, I'm going stud for stud, right? Like, I'm being greedy. Now, is this realistic in the NFL? No. Because if I'm a GM offering up or having this discussion with him, I don't have to give you a stud. You're in the position you're trying to unload the player. So I get that. But I need first rounders, and I need a stud at least on defense, on offense. I need something. The Saints are close to winning a ship, but they're not really that close. The Saints are arguably maybe not even the best team in their division. Well, Tampa Bay's in their division, so we know they're not the best team if you go by last year's standard. And are they really that close, though? Like, quarterback-wise, are they really that close? Like, are they really? I don't know. I think you'd have to give up a lot if you're the Saints. If you got A-Rod back, what would be left with A-Rod? It'd be interesting. So if you're Rodgers, you say, I want New Orleans or Denver. Denver's the one that keeps popping up. Why Denver? Why are we talking Denver? Why does that make sense? Aaron Rodgers is a California guy, went to Cal, right? So he's used to being out west. Why is Denver so attractive? They got young studs on offense. They have a defensive-minded coach. Aaron Rodgers in the AFC West with Pat Mahomes? Whoo! Man! If you're the Broncos, does this feel like you must do this? Does this feel like the Broncos are monitoring this situation? Does this feel like the Broncos have to just – like, if you're Green Bay, are you taking like a Bridgewater or a Lock back in this trade? Because doesn't a quarterback have to be in this trade? I'm just throwing it out there. So Kobe says, dome or altitude, easy choice. Okay. All right, good point. We all know that the environment of New Orleans and the Superdome is one of the best environments in the league. Some people would argue being up in Green Bay is one of the best environments in the league as well. So you could probably debate that one. Denver, altitude. Okay. Thin air. Twice a year, Kansas City. Twice a year, Oakland. Twice a year, San Diego. Interesting. The Broncos become an automatic favorite. The Broncos become one of the top teams to now win the AFC if he goes there. Okay, Leonardo, I agree. They do need a quarterback. They have a young defense. They have a great coach. They're building that defense from the interior out, right? Do they have enough to give for Aaron Rodgers? What does that look like? What does that trade look like? If you're the GM, what is that? How do you compare? What are you giving up? What talent are you giving up to get them? The Washington football team, that's another interesting one. Not a lot on offense. Definitely building on defense. They are desperately in need of a quarterback. Ron Rivera is a great coach. Seems like they got things like settled down. They're going to be back on track. Is that enough? Kobe says, I like him in Denver too. I just like him out of Green Bay. That was for you, Dre. So I'm sure Dre's going to get in here at some point, and just dip his head in to say something. But I'm sure he would love to hear that for you. Listen, I'm not looking forward to that because I enjoy twice a year talking about the fact that the Lions are about to play the Packers. So Leonardo says, just give him draft picks. Okay. It feels like a player has to be in there, right? It feels like there has to be somebody maybe a tier lower than him. I think that's why people were saying the Browns sound crazy for not giving up Baker for him, like Baker and Njoku and 2 first rounders. I just don't feel like that really is a true offer. Why do you want Njoku? That doesn't. I mean, I know the Browns have 2 tight ends that they covet better than Njoku, so it makes sense from a Browns perspective. But if I'm the Packers, I mean, I got to have something in return, right? Something I could put on the field right away. Those 2 draft picks are next year or the year after. So who's most likely in the mix here? So the rumors are Broncos. Other rumors that I've heard, New Orleans is in there. I've actually heard Washington, but it's only been because Washington has the extreme need for draft picks. For a quarterback. The other rumor was before they drafted a quarterback, which I don't understand why Denver didn't do this, but they drafted Justin Fields, Chicago, which would have been interesting because he would have gone right down the road and stayed in the division. If you're Green Bay, you never do that. So, like I said, I don't know what the perfect scenario is. I'm interested in hearing about it. The Broncos are dug in, though. This seems to be the story that keeps the name that keeps popping up. The Broncos are in. The Broncos are in. The Broncos are in. They're monitoring the situation, and Rodgers isn't budging. Please, Aaron, say it ain't so, man. Say it ain't so. Leonardo, Packers are in no position to really haggle because Rodgers isn't going to play, so they have to take the best deal they can get. Very good point. Very good point. I didn't even think about that. Very good point. The Packers don't have a lot of flexibility. If they really believe he is not going to play, you cannot get nothing for him. You have to get something for him. So, therefore, you do have to take the best deal on the table. So, if I'm an opposing team, I guess I can dangle what my best deal is, hoping you'll bite on that instead of actually giving you what he may actually be worth. All right. So, just wanted to open the show with that. Again, we interested in what you guys think about it. If you're just joining us, we're talking trade rumors, Aaron Rodgers. Biggest story. It dropped on draft night. He's taking heat for dropping it on draft night, or he's taking heat for maybe his people dropping it. It's kind of weird about how that story goes. But some people are, calling him selfish and, kind of name calling because he took the spotlight off of the young men that were being drafted that night. Listen, you're able to have your own opinion on that. At the end of the day, it has been the biggest news since it was said this man wants out of Green Bay, and he is dug in. According to reports, he is dug in, and they have flown to him and talked to him. They have tried to keep an open line of communication. His coach has gotten on TV and said, I love him. Great to work with him. I want him back. The Packers have done all of the on-camera things that they are supposed to do. But, to be honest with you, that's what they're supposed to do. It's not the on-camera things that have made him want to leave. It is clearly the draft picks or the lack thereof over the last few years that have made this man say, you know what? I'm done. All right. Moving on. Don't forget to follow us on YouTube, follow us on Instagram, follow us on Facebook at The Academy Sports Show. The NBA, the association, play-in time is just about upon us. All right? Play-in time. Woo! Here are the current standings in the NBA right now. Let's look at the East. In the East, you got the 76ers, the Nets, the Bucks. They're locked in, clinched. Let's see. Position-wise, playoff division. Yeah, for the most part, these guys are in. They're nowhere near, they're nowhere near falling to the play-in tournament. However, when you get to 4 and work your way down, it gets real interesting. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if you've been paying attention, but the New York Knicks are 38-30, and they are the 4 seed in the Eastern Conference. The 4 seed in the Eastern Conference. I just got a text from Perry. He said he's on his way in. I'll have to throw it out to him so he can make his comment, but we've moved on to the NBA. The New York Knicks are 38-30, ladies and gents. They're the 4 seed. They're 9 games out of first place. The 5th and 6th seed belong to the Atlanta Hawks and the Miami Heat. They're both 10 games out, identical records. Currently, the Hawks own the tiebreaker. Then you have the 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th seed. These are the individuals that will be in the play-in tournament. You got the Celtics at 7, the Hornets at 8, the Wizards at 9, and the Pacers at 10. Only really 3 games separating, 3.5 games separating 7 through 10. Before we talk about the West and the teams that most people want to talk about, let's just get it out there. The 76ers, with about 3 or 4 games remaining, have a 3-game lead on the Nets. The 76ers are going to be the 1 seed, most likely going into the playoffs. We talked about this. Are the Nets the favorite? Are the 76ers the favorite? We've had differing opinions on the show. I digressed. I said it early in the season. I said the Nets will not get out of the East. Then I digressed. And I'm not allowed to change again. I can't be a flip-flopper. I was given my final opportunity to digress or stick with my pick. I digressed. I said the Nets are the favorite. The Nets can win a championship. The Nets are still 3 games out of first, and they're 44-24. Am I wrong? Do you believe in the 76ers? Do you believe that the 76ers can truly get out of the East? First of all, are any of these teams going to be healthy enough to play in the playoffs? If you just heard the news, Jaylen Brown for the Celtics done for the season. You know the injury situations that's been going on with the Nets. Leonardo, you did. You know what? I get the bell. Leonardo, you told me. Stand pat. Stay strong. Stick with your pick. And I digress. I did. I got out. I'm not a good betting man. Sixers are the 1 seed. Embiid looks really, really good. MVP caliber level. But is this just a case of teams waiting to the playoffs? I mean, are we jaded by history? Because I know I think I am. I just feel like still the Nets can be the Nets that we all expected them to be when the 3 players got together, if they all come back and they're healthy. Somewhat. I still, for some reason, believe that the NBA is made up of the team that's got the best players with an S will outlast the team that's got the best player. Unless you are, as we've seen historically, LeBron James. Because Mike was the best player. And he had the best players on his team, and they were really good. LeBron didn't always have the best players, and he still was able to knock off some of these teams. So, are the Sixers for real? Are the Bucks just another team that's going to lose in the playoffs again? And we're going to keep giving Giannis all these awards? Or can teams like the Knicks, the Hawks, the Heat, can they do something in the playoffs? Can the Knicks beat the Bucks in the first round? I'm just asking. All right, play-in. Boston, Charlotte, Washington, Indiana. That's the play-in right now. If you haven't heard about the play-in, it's a 7 through 10 tournament. And basically it's to decide who makes the 7th and 8th spots. All right, so you're going to have a game between the 9 and the 10. You're going to have a game between the 7 and the 8. You're going to have like a loser play loser, winner play winner situation where the lower seeds have to win a couple games to knock off the higher seeds. And that's pretty much that in a nutshell. If you want to see a pretty hilarious version of the explanation of playing, go to NBATNT.com and you'll be able to see what that looks like with Charles Barkley explaining it. All right. So are you excited, number one? And does it shake up anything, number two? And does it change anything? Or are we still going to end up looking at an Eastern Conference final that consists of the people at the top? That Luka Puncher's weak. There, I said it. All right. So before we get to the West, we talk about the Mavericks. The East is the East, man. It's the one that nobody's going to be super excited about. But boy, oh boy. Out West. Ladies and gents, this is the picture out West. Utah's the one. 2 games in front of the Phoenix Suns. The first 2 seeds. No, Leonardo, I disagree. Whoa. Let's put this up. Leonardo said, watch out for the Heat again. I disagree, Leonardo. I don't believe in them this year. I think that was a bubble ball situation. I think they benefited from bubble ball. I think, honestly, I don't think they're good enough to make another run. I just don't. And, you told me to stand pat with the Nets, so I should trust you. I should listen to you. But I'm still going to go against you on that. I don't see the Heat being that legit this year. Because they're not a surprise anymore. I think they just struck lightning in a bottle, and they had the right situation at the right time. I don't see it happening any other way. All right. They're slowly coming around. I know, but I just don't believe. I don't believe. We will see, though, and you will be rewarded heavily for being right. We will let the world know that you said it first. All right. Now, listen, the West is interesting. The Jazz and the Suns own the first 2 spots, and they're probably not going to get caught. The Jazz and the Suns, ladies and gentlemen. When was the last time the Jazz owned the 1 seed? I probably have to go back to the 90s, I'm guessing. And I don't know if they were the 1 seed even back then when they ended up playing the Bulls in the championship, but I'm sure I'm guessing at that. Somebody can do the research on that. The Suns are the 2 seed. Again, when was the last time they were relevant? I think this is exciting. Because I think the Phoenix Suns and the Jazz could do some damage in the playoffs. Clippers sitting there at the 3 seed, 5 games back. Nuggets right behind them, 1 game back. Those are locked in. I'm not sold on the Clippers. Just like I'm not sold on the Heat. Rondo factor, right? I'm supposed to believe in the Rondo factor. I get it. But something's still not right to me with that team. It's something still not right. Well, somebody just popped up. Marie said, that's okay. Okay. Now, the Nets are winning it all. Okay. I don't know about that. I don't know. I got to see the season finish, and we got to look at who's actually going to play when the first round starts so we can know who's going to be around. Now, before we move forward, the man, the myth, the legend, he's just arrived. So I got to bring him in. He was out doing his business, handling it, doing what he's supposed to do, being the man of the house. Now I got to bring him in because he's in this chair. He's got his wall behind him. You all know him. It's my partner. Man, here he is. What up, brother?
What's good, man? Appreciate you holding it down for me.
What's up, brother?
There was another manager closing today. So am I behind? Am I lagging?
You're lagging a little bit.
I'm lagging.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna come back out.
Okay. He said he was out working with the VODs. All right, so a lot of belief in the chat today is the Nets are not going to make it. the Nets are going to fumble. Maurice says the Nets are winning it all. Maurice, join us every week. We're here Monday nights. We can discuss. We will be discussing during playoff time as we watch things happen and we watch things play out or play in. Saw what I did there. All right, so our 5 seed is the Mavericks. Our 6 seed is the Blazers. All right, those are your top 6. 1 game separating or 2 games separating the 5th and the 7th seed. So Dallas, Portland, and LA have to play this week. They can't just chalk it up and say, oh, well, it is what it is. We're locked in. They have to play. They got enough games for things to change. It's 1, 2, 3 game slide here at the end of the season, and one of these teams could be a 7 seed and one team could be a 5 seed. So, Lakers fans, hello. I know, Kobe, you don't worry about it. I know you're not going to say anything, but Lakers fans, hello, are you worried? Can the Lakers win a championship from the 7? From the 7 slot, word on the street, LeBron's back against the Knicks. So you'll have LeBron, you'll have AD. Can the Lakers win a championship from the 7 spot? You know, I don't know. I'm jaded, man. I'm jaded. Kobe says, Higgs, yeah, the Lakers are worried. If I'm the Lakers, I'm extremely worried. Now, here's what you don't have to contend with, right? Because of COVID, we're not fully back to a situation where you got to go into somebody else's building. We're not there yet. If this was a normal year and the Lakers were a 7 seed like this, you should definitely be worried because the chances of you winning in somebody else's building become really, really hard. Now, if the season were to end like the standings are today, it'd be Lakers and Golden State. It'd be Golden State at LA. That's not necessarily a home court advantage right now either, considering the pandemic. So can Golden State walk on your floor and get a dub? Yes, because you got Steph Curry. And Steph Curry could go nuts and get a win, and it's over. So I ask you again, can the Lakers win a championship from the 7 seed if the season were to end today?
Am I lagging again?
No, you're not lagging now.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? What we talking?
We talking play-in tournament. The Lakers are in trouble. Can they win a championship from the 7 seed? There's no home court advantage. I mean, you don't have to worry about winning in somebody's building, right? I mean, but can Golden State knock them off first round and we just call it a day?
Ooh, no, I don't think Golden State got it like that. We saw what Anthony Davis did against the Suns by himself. Yesterday. So I don't think Golden State can stop Anthony Davis either. So, sprinkling in a little bit of LeBron, I think they can get past the Warriors. 7-game series against the Suns, that might be tough. It's really that 4-5. Or no, what would they get after that? They would get Denver or the
Well, if they were the 7 and they played the Suns and they beat the Suns in a 7-game series, because that would be that's going to be a
so they get
7. It's going to be a 1-8 versus a 2-7, right?
Yeah.
So then they would take a 3-6. So they would take the next highest seed. They would have to go through Phoenix. They would first have to get it through the play-in. Then they would have to beat Phoenix. And then they would have to knock off the winner of that Jazz and Nuggets series.
Yeah, it's the road of hard travel, but at least they don't have to go through the Clippers. Assuming
the Clippers don't beat the Suns, right? Because first round you're looking at a 2-7 matchup, but second round you could be looking at you'd be looking at if the Lakers beat the Suns and the Clippers got through, you'd be looking at a 7-3 matchup.
Yeah, if they get through Phoenix and then they get through the Clippers, then they got to get through the Jazz just to get to the finals.
Yeah.
After beating Golden State one time. Yeah, that's a hell of a roll for the King on a bum ankle and Anthony Davis, who has yet to have his moment in the sun, being Batman instead of being Robin.
So I was reluctant. Leonardo said I should have stood pat on the Nets, right? So I backed off, right? I said the Nets can come out. Leonardo's saying, "Hey, listen,
you reneged."
No, I didn't renege. You gave me my out, and I took it.
Okay.
And I'm not going back. But the Philadelphia 76ers are the 1 seed, and the Nets can't get right when it comes to health. So I'm still not willing to count the Nets out because I still feel like I'm jaded by my past in the NBA. And when you get to the playoffs, teams with the best players usually win.
True.
But I'm going out on a limb today, sir. If the Lakers have to play in the play-in tournament and then get through, they're not coming out the West. I can't see the Lakers getting through Denver, LA, Utah, or Phoenix. Like, out of all those 4 teams, they're going to have to face 2 of them.
Yeah.
I don't see that.
And they have to be healthy through all those series.
I don't see it. I think the Lakers have more chance not to make it to the finals than the Nets do.
Yeah, if this was LA or the field, definitely taking the field.
I'm taking the field for sure.
I'm thinking a dark horse finals. I'm thinking a real dark horse finals. I'm thinking Clippers, Bucks.
Ugh. Oh, man.
I know.
I don't think – so I still believe that the NBA has its ways. I don't think they would allow it.
But listen, it's still Kawhi versus Giannis. It's still 2 of their top 5 players in the finals.
True.
You can go, Giannis, this is Giannis' evolution, right? Like, he got his MVP. Kobe told him go get the MVP. He went and got the MVP. So now the next step is to go get the title. I mean, he's beat the Nets every game this year. He's beat KD head to head. I'm not shying away from the Bucks this year, and the Clippers seem like they have an easier road. I don't trust the Jazz. I don't trust Phoenix. I don't trust Denver. Like, all these teams have injury problems. The Suns are young. Utah, Donovan Mitchell's hurt. Denver, Murray's hurt. Dallas, I don't trust KP. Blazers, do they have enough? Lakers. I feel like the Clippers are the more complete team here in the West. So I'm going. I think if I had to put money on it, if I had to put my own money on it, I would go Clippers Bucks in the finals this year.
Wow. Listen, I ain't trusting the Bucks, bro. There's absolutely no way I'm trusting the Bucks. The Bucks?
The Bucks.
Listen, regular season champs the last few years.
True.
They have proven nothing to me in the playoffs, and they gave away half the players that helped them get there. I'm not trusting the Bucks. Hey, look, Perry says, I'm not going out on a limb. Last year, the bubble benefited Dre's Kang.
How, Sway? How? How, Sway? They wasn't in the play-in.
He's saying the bubble benefited your team last year.
How? Because the Blazers had to fight their way in because they had a hell of a game against Memphis just to get into the playoffs. And then by the time they got into it, Dame got hurt. That's on them. I mean, be a higher seed. Nobody blamed them for being a 1 seed last year, so I'm not going to blame them for being a 7 seed this year. You want to win the title, go win the title.
So Leonardo likes the Bucks with you. Here's why the Bucks are different because they have a point guard, right? Here's why I don't like the Bucks. Because in the playoffs, who else is shooting besides Giannis?
You got to hope that Middleton and Drew Holiday
there you go
have a series.
Enough said. That's it right there. I can't live with them guys. I cannot live with them guys. So I'm out there. Hey, Lakers aren't getting there if they've got to go through those teams. To me, the Lakers need to get out of the play-in situation, get better positioning here in this last week of the season. They've got a two-game catch on Dallas. They cannot end up in a tie. They need the Blazers or the Mavericks to quickly go in the last and lay an egg this week and slide in. I don't like them in the position they're in right now.
You're not saying nobody else, though. Who else you got, though?
Oh, you mean coming out? Listen, I think Denver, if you want to talk dark horse, I think Denver and Phoenix can get out of the West. because Chris Paul has the playoff experience, and if you got a shooter that gets crazy hot like Devin Booker, I think you can run off a series or two. Denver, I think, is legit. They can defend. They're big. They can score. And I haven't seen anybody with an answer to Jokic. Like, Jokic abused the Clips the other day. I don't know that the Clippers want to see Denver in that middle matchup. I don't think – to me, the Clipper-Denver matchup does not favor the Clippers. Let's assume that the top 4 teams advance and you have a 1-4-2-3 matchup. I think Clippers – the Clippers don't have to play the Nuggets. I think Denver Jazz is going to be interesting because the Jazz have injury issues. And then you have Phoenix and the Clippers. I think the Clippers will like that matchup, but I don't think anybody wants to see Denver and the big fella. I don't think anybody wants to see a Joker. This might be the year the big man to be the 76ers and the Nuggets.
That's even worse. That's worse than what I said.
You think the Bucks coming into the finals is better than Philly?
I think Bucks Clippers have more star power than Nuggets in the 76ers.
Why you say the Nuggets name like that?
That's it's gonna be 74-83. Listen, I like that the Jazz are the most complete team. Like, if you watch Utah bust people up. Like, I'm pretty sure their point differential is crazy. Here it is right here.
9.3,
yeah, they be busting people down. Like Jordan Clarkson, all those guys that are on that team that were throwaways and now they in there in that great system, they shooting the lights out in Utah. So hopefully Donovan Mitchell comes back somewhat at full strength to keep, because we saw him in the bubble last year throwing up 50s. So Utah is still scary. We just need to see it.
Perry says, you trust the Clippers?
I'm starting to. I watched a couple Clipper games. They got it's all on Paul George's shoulders at the end of the day. At the end of the day. It's on playoff P because he's had a hell of a season. Kawhi's going to do Kawhi. Rondo surprisingly has elevated them. Ty Lue got the championship experience. But it's on Paul George's shoulders. Paul George has to not do Paul George things in the playoffs.
So I ask you again, do you trust that?
I'm not saying I'm trusting them. I'm saying if the Lakers are in the play-in, I'm thinking I'm with you. I don't think they can come out the West. So I'm going Clippers, Bucks.
Okay. If the Lakers are in the play-in, I don't think they can get through all that either. I don't know who I'm going with, but I like the Nuggets and the Suns over the Clippers. And you did point out the Jazz. I feel about the Jazz kind of the way I feel about the Bucks. It's like I don't trust I don't trust the Bucks and I don't trust the Jazz.
Yeah. Same. The Jazz have a good mixture of defense and threes. Like, that's where the league is right now. But we haven't seen this team in the playoffs when the clamps come on and it's a half court sets and them trying to, get their offense together. So seeing who comes out eighth, whether it's, Golden State or Memphis, that Utah don't want Golden State. I can tell you that. Steph is going to definitely press them hard. So if they go 1-8, if LA gets 7 and Golden State gets the 8th seed, that's going to be a hell of a series too, because I think Steph can get some games out of them.
So Leonardo says the Knicks took care of them last night. The Knicks are the 4 seed, Dre, in the East.
Oh, man.
Do you believe?
So right now the Knicks will be playing Atlanta, right?
Yeah.
I think they can pop Atlanta.
Do you believe in any other noise besides Atlanta, though? Can they knock off a Philly in a 1-4?
I don't think they can talk. I don't think they can do a top 3.
Okay.
I don't think they can do a top 3 seed, but
you're still another year or so removed.
It's definitely a positive look. New York is a 4 seed. New York has a winning record. New York has home court advantage. That's great.
New York is relevant.
Right. That's great for the league. New York is going to win a first round playoff, matchup. Them losing the second round. This is a win season. This is a positive season. They just need another guy. They just need a big time guy to force his way to New York. That's all. You need one disgruntled star to say, I want to go to the Knicks. and then it's a wrap.
My pop said the Lakers will not repeat. Everybody else is hungry. Somebody from the West will win it all, but it won't be the Clippers.
Y'all telling me everybody who is not going to be, but ain't nobody picking nobody. I'm the only one out here on this limb. Everybody said it ain't this. Y'all a bunch of wives. What you want for dinner? I don't want that. I don't want that. You're not telling me what you want, though. Tell me what's going to happen. You telling me what you don't want. Tell me what's going to happen.
Oh, man. Perry said the Kang had a long break, sir. The Kang beat Jimmy Buffett and company. All right, so listen. We got 9 minutes left in the show. You weren't here. That is a good pickup. Perry just pointed out Aaron Gordon is a great pickup. Yeah, I think Utah is very dangerous. So you weren't here for the beginning of the show. Held it down for you. But, I'm going to bring this back up. We talked about this real quick. Wanted to get Perry's opinion on it too. So let's bring that in here. Trade rumors, right? Word on the street is the Broncos are the team that keeps coming up, right?
Yeah.
I told you if that Cleveland trade's real, I think Barry's a dummy not to take it. I just don't think that trade was real. I think Green Bay's got to want more than that.
Oh, yeah, it was just a proposal, like how they do the ESPN.
Yeah.
I don't think they actually, offered a trade offer.
Yeah, I was also listening to that. I meant to send it to you. They were on ESPN saying, really, what Barry's doing in Cleveland, he needs to continue doing it. If Aaron Rodgers was a free agent, that would be different. But the fact is, you probably have to give up capital to get him. If your team's like Cleveland, you probably shouldn't do it. But the Broncos keep getting their name called. Perry, how do you feel? This is your team, sir. You were on the show with us draft night. They didn't take Justin Fields. They went corner. The Broncos are monitoring the situation. Dre, what say you? I know you'd be happy because he's out of the NFC North.
Oh, yeah. Good. I mean, my cousin texted me the other day. He was like, what you think A-Rod got to do? I said, retire. Just dig your heels in and retire, A-Rod. Just, stand on that rock all by yourself and just go off somewhere. I'm all for the Jordan Love era. Let's go, Jordan Love. But listen, Aaron Rodgers to the Broncos, that's a hard division. You know what I'm saying? You're going against Pat Mahomes twice a year.
Yep.
Now you're going against the young boy at the Chargers twice a year.
Yep. Herbert twice a year.
Yeah, that's a hard division. So for him to go there, that'll be tough. But he does have weapons. I know Perry brought that up last time. They drafted receivers last year. They got a good line. I'm not sure about their running back situation. Did Lindsey leave?
I think they just drafted another running back.
Okay.
Which he pointed out to me about that. Because didn't they have – I feel like they had Gordon, Lindsey.
Yeah, they had Gordon and Lindsey. I'm not sure if they have both of them. I think Lindsey went somewhere else.
Perry called him George Paul.
Listen, A-Rod, go anywhere but stay in that Green Bay. Wherever.
Here's a trade for you.
Done. Listen, hey, we're gonna create a new segment on the show called "You're the GM." Do you take this trade offer?
I asked. That's why I tried to do that today, but I didn't have you with
GM
me.
hat.
I must have needed you with me because I tried that today, and there wasn't a lot. Leonardo did point out the Washington football team needs a quarterback too.
Yeah,
but I just feel like there's a lot you have to give up to get him.
Yeah, you got to be one of those cusp teams. It makes more sense for Cleveland. Cleveland has the surrounding pieces. They have the roster. The only question mark to me and the people outside of Ohio is Baker Mayfield. Apparently, everybody in Ohio loves Baker Mayfield and thinks he's going to bring you guys a championship. But to everybody outside of Ohio, I would pull the trigger on any trade that involves Aaron Rodgers for Baker Mayfield and any kind of draft picks you want to give up. Because right now, your team is ready. You got the backs. You got the receiver. Your line is getting better. You got the defense. You got the coach. Go win. You're in a great division. You know what I'm saying? The Steelers are on a downswing right now. The Ravens have no weapons on the outside. Now is the time. Go get the guy. You know what I'm saying? So if you get one championship this year is better than anything Baker Mayfield's projection could be over the next 10 years to me. Like if I can go win a championship right now as a Detroit Lion, I would take the next 10 years of trying to figure out who's going to be our next quarterback because we spent everything on a 37-year-old Hall of Famer, but I got my chip though.
Right. You pulled the Tampa Bay Bucks?
I'm pulling it. But like you said, that's a free agent situation. But if you asking for 3 1s, my starting quarterback, and my best young defensive player, take them.
I don't know about that. That's a lot, man. That's a lot.
If they said I want 2 1s, Baker Mayfield and Denzel Ward.
I don't. And here's the crazy thing. I don't want to give up Denzel Ward.
Because you're not putting Myles Garrett on the block. That's untouchable. So you got to go to your next best piece.
Yeah, that's why I think the Njoku was an interesting piece in that one. The one little one that they threw out there was like, why?
Yeah,
why?
Y'all got 8 tight ends anyway.
Right. I mean, you make a great argument, and it sounds so tempting. I mean, it's Aaron Rodgers. Why not, right?
Why not?
But, I mean, 3 first-rounders in the NFL, for you to not have a first-round pick for 3 years in a row is like you're in trouble.
Like, the Rams.
Yeah. Right? Like, that is a tough life to live.
I don't trust Baker, though. Y'all the only people in that bubble that trust Baker. I think it was a one-off. Him and Stefanski, they work well together. Stick to the run game, adding OBJ back. It all seems like it's supposed to head in one direction. But I don't trust Baker.
If you add A-Rod to that team, now you got me dreaming. Do you change the offense any though?
Could you imagine? No, you still run play action. You still run that thing. And then when you get in a tight situation, you let A-Rod do his thing. Because you still got Chubb. He ain't never had a top 5 back. He ain't never had a top 5 receiver in OBJ. Well, I mean, Devontae Adams. I take that back. But he never had 2 top 10 receivers. Devontae and Landry and Odell. You know what I'm saying? Like, he got weapons. And he ain't even got to A-Rod it out. He ain't got to throw 5,000 yards and 40 touchdowns just to keep y'all in the game. Run that thing.
Woo! Perry says, make the move. Are you talking about the Broncos or are you talking about the Browns? I'm assuming the Broncos because you are not a Browns fan. Man, that's tough, man. Listen, you make a great argument. Now that you got me thinking about it again, I really don't know what to tell you. But that's a lot of capital to give up. Like, I guess if you can get away with it with only giving up 2, you probably figure, hey, for the next 2 years, you're going to be drafting at the bottom of the first round anyway, right? Mm-hmm. So if you can get away with giving up 2 first-round picks, maybe you came out today and said you believe in Baker because that's the right thing to say, but the back channels are working, maybe?
Maybe. It's got to be 3 because Stafford got 2. So.
Jeez.
If Stafford had a starting quarterback straight up and 2 1s, you're getting a starting quarterback straight up. You got to get 3 1s for A-Rod.
That's true. Broncos would be a Super Bowl contender with Rodgers, 100%. I agree.
That division, though. That division, man.
No, the division's hard, but that's one of those scenarios where I think them and the Chiefs can get out of that division. You're looking at like 2, 12, and 4 teams.
That division, too young. You got good receivers, but they're young.
Man, he makes he makes Lazard look like an all-pro, bro.
Against the Chiefs, though, I would stay away from the Chiefs.
Hey, 2 losses a year, but it's okay. You can still make the playoffs.
I would not go in the same division as Pat Mahomes. Okay, so they kept Gordon.
Oh, he got that rookie kid out of North Carolina. That duo there, they both had the 200-yard rushing.
So you lost your best running back. That's
what yeah, I was a Lindsey fan more than anything. Man, okay. Well, I got a hard stop at 8, so let's pay the bills.
All right.
Are you about to take it for another 15, 20?
No. This episode is sponsored by my Browns and Baker equal championships. Do not give up on y'all dug in. Y'all on this Baker train. Y'all own this Baker train.
This picture back up there one more time. Remind you.
I applaud y'all because y'all own it. You know, I'm with it. Y'all start.
Listen, man. I'm on the train, but I'm riding with my GM right now. Whatever he says goes.
Okay.
In AB, we trust.
Y'all, yeah, Kobe, Browns fans, y'all crazy. Y'all, I mean, you got a chance to go get a Hall of Famer. You go get a Hall of Famer. Hey, this show is sponsored by Mike Von Spelman. Vo's licensed and assured. Von Spelman provides top quality services at great prices. Whether it's getting up to cold, waterproofing, or daily home services, we suggest you call the man.
313-304-7786.
VonSpelman.com. Gives you a map of all the areas that they service as well as the services that they provide. But we suggest you call the man.
313-304-7786.
That man right there is the real MVP. And if you want to get a hold of us, academysportsshow@gmail.com is the best way to get a hold of us. If you want to email us about inquiries about being on the show or product placement, things like that, or if you got your own podcast and you want to link up, like you see Sports Dad Cephas on here sometimes, that's how you do it. Or you see our tags below us at JWill02 and at Dre_on-air. Please follow us and follow the show at Instagram and Facebook at Academy Sports Show. But the most important is the YouTube. Make sure you check us out on YouTube at Academy Sports Show. Find our logo, subscribe to our logo, and trigger that bell. That way you get a notification every time we go live. I was at work when I got mine. Did you get yours? All right, brother. I appreciate you, man.
Hey, no problem, man. No problem. We out here got to take care of business, man.
I would never, Pop. I'm not wearing that. I'm not wearing that hat. I cannot do it. I don't even have a favorite. And if Tom Brady went to the Browns, that's the only way I would root for the Browns. That is the only way. That is the only way. All right. I know you got a hard 8, man. I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for holding me down. Appreciate y'all being there with my mans today, holding them down. Thank you, sir, for starting the show off in epic fashion.
Yeah, yes, sir. All right, brother. See you guys next week, 7 o'clock.